Okey, bertemu kembali dalam Awal Ini Pagi. Pastinya kita sedang membincangkan tentang website ifwerantheworld.com bersama dengan Cindy Gallop.
Cakap tentang perubahan. Dan saya rasa nanti pun Bahtia pun akan ada soalan dia nak tanya, tapi dia akan, kejap lagi dia akan mencelah lah.
Sebelum tu Bahtia, saya ada soalan dulu.
Okey, kita book dulu.
We always talk about and how we want to get the young generation involved, and with especially young generation people like me, very young I think. So I need for it to be interesting. So how does if we run the world.com make it interesting for people with the young ages to get involved in this, and how do you verify that I actually did this thing rather than I'm just saying I'm a nice person and that's it?
Right. Well, we decided we wanted to integrate doing something into everybody's day-to-day lives as much as doing nothing currently is, in the sense that often MySpace, Facebook and YouTube are about spending a lot of time doing nothing. So in that case we knew that we had to make it very entertaining and engaging, we had to make it fun. And so If We Ran the World is designed on game theory and gaming principles. It's not a game, but it works like a game. It leverages the human competitive spirit to act. We call it competitive collaboration. So the more you act, the more you gain status within the community, the more visible your status within the platform becomes. And the way that works is, on other online social networks, when you post your profile, you can do all sorts of things to make your profile really interesting and attractive. On If We Ran the World, you can't fake anything. Apart from some basic information about yourself that you enter right up front, your profile is entirely automatically generated by your actions. Every time you complete a microaction, it reports automatically on your profile, and so your profile builds up as you self-identifying and self-expressing in a very interesting way. Quite literally, you are what you do. When you look at your profile in a glance, you are the sum of your actions. That doesn't happen anywhere else.
So it's like building up a reputation for yourself.
Exactly. And the more you act, the more multifaceted, aspirational and attractive your profile becomes. And by the way, one of the things that we want to do with this is all online social networks today are underpinned by one fundamental human truth. Sex and dating. Oh, we're already seriously gathered here to talk about your hotnet state. We would like to leverage that overtly. We would like to make taking action the new social and sexual attractiveness value. We'd like to make do you act become the new measure of how attractive somebody is, as opposed to how many silly videos do you post on YouTube.
Right, sure. I think Bahtia has a question for us.
Cindy, if I may ask, how would you predict, how would you expect the response from the companies so far? I mean, it's not been launched yet, and having said all that, can I just assume that the companies will be given the privilege to advertise their products on the website as well?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is the advertising of the future. This is absolutely not about advertising in the conventional sense. It's about identifying the values and beliefs a company stands for and acting to demonstrate those. So we were covered on Wired.com 7 weeks ago, which has very much accelerated our progress. I've been talking to brands and companies since. And with the right brands and businesses, the ones who get it, share our vision and see that this is the way of the future, they are very, very interested in this proposition, because they too have been looking for ways to do good and make money simultaneously. People often laugh at me when I talk about corporate good intentions. I know from 24 years working in advertising, those good intentions are there. Companies want to do the right thing, but they need to do it in a way that syncs up with their day-to-day business objectives. And when you provide that opportunity, they will absolutely do the things that people want to see them do, and they will do them together with the people who want to achieve that objective. So I'm getting a lot of interest from brands and businesses who want to be a part of this.
So Cindy, I know that from my research I found that you were big in advertising, you've done so well, and one day you just decided to quit and you come up with this idea. How did you come up with this concept of iRunTheWorld.com, or if you ran the world?
Sure, completely accidentally, actually. But no, what happened was that I turned 45 back in 2005. I had my own personal midlife crisis. I'd always thought 45 was kind of a midlife point. I should stop, examine what I was doing, reflect. And when I did that, I realised I'd been working 16 years for the advertising agency I worked for. Great agency, Bartle Bogle Hegarty, BBH, absolutely fantastic. But I felt it was time to do something different with the second half of my life. So after a lot of thought and angsting, I took a big leap into the unknown. I resigned without a job to go to. Best move I ever made with my life. because
Good for you. Yeah.
because I love what I'm doing now, and I completely accidentally had this idea over 2 years ago. But when I had it, I went, this is one of those ideas I have to make happen or die trying. So that's really what set me on this path.
Is there any events that you happen to be in Malaysia today?
Well, I'm actually in Malaysia for several reasons. The first is that I was presenting in Kota Kinabalu last week at the iMedia Asia Brand Summit to a number of Asian brand marketers who are very interested in If We Ran the World. Then my parents live in Penang. My mother is Malaysian Chinese. My father is English.
From Penang!
Yeah,
Yay!
absolutely. And I love Penang. So I visit them whenever I can, every year. And so I spent the weekend in Penang. And now I'm here in KL doing meetings with people who are interested in If We Ran the World, which is fantastic.
How do you see the potential of ifwerantheworld.com in Malaysia itself, and how we've got a very I think awareness is very good with our youth community. How do you think that will work in Malaysia, especially here?
Well, the sense I'm getting is very well, because I was very touched when one of the first emails I got after the Wired.com piece appeared was from Malaysia, and I was amazed. And it came from Kylie Ng, who is behind youthsays.org, Youth09, who wrote to me immediately saying, we have a whole Malaysian youth community that I think would be very interested in this. How can we help? And in the conversations that I've had with people since I've been here, I feel, and obviously given my background, I know Malaysia pretty well, I feel that the country is really poised for change. There are a lot of young people who want to see change happen. Our core target audience for If We Ran the World is Generation Y, young people. It's for everybody, but we want to start with the people who really want to change the world. And so I get the very strong feeling that Malaysia would be a fantastic first test market for If We Ran the World, and I'd love to make that happen. So everybody out there who wants to come and be a part of this, please go to ifwerantheworld.com and contact me. I'd love to talk to you.
And I've seen the website. It's still not up yet, yeah?
No, we're building to launch it as fast as we can. We hope to be publicly operational in September. And testable before that. But in the meantime, we are a crowdsourced platform, and we want to be a crowdsourced venture. So if you go to the website, you have the opportunity to volunteer to help us make it happen in any way that you can, and we welcome that help.
Okay, if you can see from the website right now, this is what's on the website right now.
Yep.
If they can show you right now, there you go. So I can help if I ran theworld.com with. So we put whatever that you agree on, with time, money, and everything, and then you could help out,
Yep, exactly. And we are operating under our own principles. You know, it's the same principle of, you know, any micro action you can take to help us. We welcome it.
Any little action will help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So what can we expect from the site itself in the future? What kind of features can we think about that's going to go on If I Ran the World?
Well, there's a reason that my partner and I have been working on this for 2 years, and we still haven't launched it. I quote Mark Twain, the American author, who said, he wrote a letter to a friend once where he said, I must apologize for the length of this letter. Had I had more time, it would have been shorter. 2 years is how long it takes to get to radical simplicity. This is a very, very simple platform. It is designed to make it incredibly easy, because you could argue I'm trying to solve the fundamental human dilemma. How do you translate intention into action? Sounds so easy, we all know it's not. So the site itself is a very simple combination of rational functionality and technology, and actually the synthesis of the study of many layers of human psychological motivation and emotional dynamics. Because it's only by combining the two you achieve the most difficult task in the world, which is to change human behavior.
Okay. So we hope that this will go very well. And definitely, if you have any more
especially in Malaysia. Can you tell us a bit about Wendell Davies, your partner?
Your partner. You never heard about your partner yet?
Wendell is fantastic. He began programming at the age of 8. He dropped out of high school in Indiana at 16 to start a video game